It's 30 seconds. We got background music.
It's got to be coming from you.
Are you playing that?
I'm not playing that. I don't even know what that is.
I should have done a fade. Let me do a fade.
Back up.
Oh, I hit it right on the beat.
Yeah, but it wasn't much of a fade. It was a pretty fast fade.
Yeah.
So we're live. Are we live?
We're live, man.
Okay.
Yep. We are live. And we got a rocking 5 people in the house.
We have been working. I have been working. Chris has been working too, but we've been working on a video, like a 5-minute video entry that's interesting. And I made an interesting one, but I cannot seem to get it small enough where StreamYard will accept it.
I'd still like to see it. We ought to post it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll get it. I got to do some Googling and figure out how to get that size of that video.
Yeah.
We're at work.
I feel like a TikTok influencer. See the ring lights in my glasses?
Yeah, you kind of look like one.
Oh yeah. I do makeup promos and stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's under a pseudo name.
I do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I do one on beard maintenance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me why I don't grow a mustache with this, and I have before. I mean, I've had the whole thing. I hate having a mustache.
It takes some getting used to. I've had one for 30 years. So
tickles your nose. I got a weird. If I had one of those beards that just had like straight whiskers come out of it, I'd be good. But that stuff always curls up, and then it's hitting your nose, and you're sitting there and you're digging at your nose and stuff, and plucking out mustache whiskers. And
it doesn't bother my nose. You know, the main thing about having a mustache is it's not about you. It's like other people, like when you're drinking something and you get stuff in your mustache, and then you suck it out of your mustache, it grosses people out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Smith comes in here with a smart aleck comment right off the bat.
Yeah, he was here last week waiting on us.
Look at that. Look at that. Busting our chops because we're on time. We've got something for you, Michael. This is for you, buddy.
we rushed around this week and did a sound check.
Glad to have you here, Michael. And a way to get it started off on a good note. That's all I can say. Where are you from, Michael? Tell us where you're from. What's he? Anecdote of a Houndsman. Chris Watts wants us to share a screen.
I don't
know what he's talking about.
I ain't sharing my screen.
Me neither. Me neither.
I think Michael's from Texas. He'll let us know.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
But yeah, tonight we're going to talk about everything that is.
Oh, hey, Chris is trying to give us some info here. He says for the intro, just do a share screen.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Look at him trying to help us.
That's a good idea, Chris. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, we just go live, and then instead of like uploading a intro, we just I'll just play it on my screen. We do a share screen.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good, Chris. That's good.
Right here in the presents, there's a present button down here we could do a share screen on. That'd be good.
Yeah, I owe you a beer, Chris.
Yep.
Go buy
Thanks, man.
go buy one. I'll pay you back.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I got to take these glasses off to halo. The lighting's bad in here. It's not great. Your lighting sucks, by the way.
Yeah,
But the
it's very
lighting
bad.
bad's in here, and so I just bought a new camera, and it's got this light on it to light up my face.
You got a
So
filter running on it.
I need some.
Yeah.
Need something. What are we going to talk about? What's I got something I want to share right off the bat. I want you to look at this. Check this out. Look at that dog.
Tough. That is a working dog right there.
I'm telling you what, man. His head looks like it's been in a meat grinder. When I when I got him out of the hole, um, I mean, it was I couldn't believe it. For one thing, he just disappeared on me. I was working in the barn, heard him go up the creek, and I heard him barking up there. I went up the creek, and uh, and then when I got up there, he was in the ground, and I could hear the coon fighting. He smelled like a coon when I pulled him out of the hole.
Yeah, we get a cool in the summer. We get a cool evening, and I got a couple old yard dogs around here. And if we get a nice evening for hunting weather, I'll get up in the morning, and my dogs look like that. But it's usually We got armadillos like crazy up here. I was telling Tanner the other day. I would think my dogs would just about have the armadillos wiped out here. Like they're bringing one up to the house. I would say on average every 2 days for probably the last 2 months. Like the population has to be getting thinned out. And when you sent me that picture earlier this afternoon, I asked you if it was
Armadillo.
armadillo,
Yep.
and you said you don't have them up there. And I'm in northeast Oklahoma, so when I didn't see an armadillo in the wild till I was probably in my 20s, so like close to 30 years ago. We didn't have them up here. Now they are thick as thieves up here.
I saw one in western Indiana, southwest Indiana, when I was coming back from New Mexico. Now, in the past, what has happened is like guys would go down to the Winter Classic and find a roadkill and throw it in the back of the truck. We had a guy. It was right after the Winter Classic. I'm not going to say who it was because I know because I went and talked to him because I got the call. But threw it out on US 50 outside of Lawrenceburg that there is possible dead armadillo. And so I run out there. Sure enough, dead on the side of the road. It's like there is no way. And so I started putting things together and listening to the chatter. And somebody went to the Winter Classic down in Georgia, and on the way home they found one on the side of the
Hauling,
roadkill, and then brought
hauling
it
it up
home and
here.
threw it out on the side of the road to get everything stirred up. I thought, man, that's funny.
They'll be up there eventually.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they deal with the cold. I would
Well,
imagine they'd be fine. They just burrow down.
yeah. I mean, our our lows. I mean, we do hit zero. We usually have about 3 or 4 days a year where it gets zero, sub-zero weather, maybe a week. But
That's
if
it.
it, yeah, yeah.
I mean, we get that.
I live farther south than half of West Virginia, a big chunk of Kentucky, and half of Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, we get that. We get that much or more here.
Yeah.
I just think of you as a Yankee.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Anything north of about
And
midway through Kansas.
anybody that's ever spent much time with me has never accused me of that. I tell you that.
No, it's just
But
a. It's
hey,
just
we
a.
got a couple questions already coming in. Something that Mike Mitchum says he's from Indiana, and Mike, welcome. Glad you're watching. I wish I was in New Mexico right now, getting ready to start bear hunting out there. And then Luke Ray. Luke Ray wants to know if Houndsman XP is going to be at Autumn Oaks, and unfortunately, we are not going to be at Autumn Oaks. It's not going to be able. We just can't make it work out this year. Um, got some other stuff going on, some family stuff that's going to not allow me to be there, Luke. So uh, catch you next year at Autumn Oaks.
I have been trying to make it out there for years.
Well, you need to cut. Let's just plan on being there next year. If the problem is, well, let me think about this. We might be able to swing it, and then right after that, head to New Mexico and get that. We'll be gearing up for New Mexico for the late bear season.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think we're gonna make it to Mexico this year.
Really?
Well, I mean, it all kind of hinges on you.
Well, I think we'll make it work. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, good.
Yep. Yep. So we want to talk. You're wanting to talk about dog men and what being a dog man is and all that stuff. I'm just going to kick it over to you and let you lead this one, this conversation. You know what you're
Yeah, I mean,
thinking.
yeah, I mean, oh well, I haven't really, I tried really hard not to think about it today, but yeah, I mean, it's a big topic. I think you and I have talked about it before. The term dog man is kind of more of a southern thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think out west and up north, they they kind of put the moniker of houndsman on it, but
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I mean, it could be me. You let me know, but to me, if you attach the term dogman to somebody, that holds it more weight than a houndsman. Does that make sense to you? I'm not
No.
downgrading that that word
Well,
because
let me.
I use that word too, but at least in the South, we put a whole lot of weight on the term dogman, where I think houndsman gets thrown around a little more freely.
I think there's a lack in etiquette there, and ever since I started the Houndsmen XP podcast, it's we've talked about it the same way you have. You can run around and beat your gums and slap yourself on the back and call yourself a houndsman all you want, but unless your peers recognize you as that, that's just you bragging on yourself. It means
Yeah,
more. Like if I'm talking to a group of guys and they say that guy right there, same way with the dog man, and I get the regional stuff, but same way, it's like Shorty Gorm. Shorty tells me, he goes, that guy's a good houndsman. That guy's an outstanding houndsman. That's like a high honor, high compliment. Like Van Johnson. Van Johnson is a houndsman. Josh and Jason Whitaker are houndsmen. Those guys, and there's so much that goes into that. I mean, it's not just having dogs.
no. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's similar. It's exactly the same with dogman. Like you don't call yourself a dogman. You wait till other people do it, and then when they say it in front of you, you go, no, 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 I'm not there yet. But so with terms that are close, so like I could go buy a hundred cows this weekend, and I could start calling myself a cattleman, and it would fit. I'd be a cattleman.
You'd be able to fool some people.
Well, it's not really about fooling. It's just if you've got a bunch of cows, you're a cattleman.
But a cattleman is somebody that knows. I mean, what's the gestation period on a cow? How many live cows can a bull cover in a day? How much grass do you need per head? Per acre. How many square acres you need per head? There's a lot to it. When do they need nutrients? All that sort of stuff.
There's a lot to it, but I don't think people aren't gonna question you. Like if somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm a dog man," yeah, we're gonna be like, "Yeah, right," and like there's gonna be a lot of not to their face, but behind the scenes, we're gonna be like, "Yeah, right," whatever. But a cattleman, yeah, dude's a cattleman. He's got a shit ton of cows. Uh, Same thing with the horseman, and I think it's cool. But like as dog people, like we've put this limit on it. We're like, no, like you don't, you know, it takes a lifetime of hard work and recognition from your peers to even throw that title. And still yet, I've known some guys who were 100%. There's no question they were dog men, and they were in their 80s, and they wouldn't, you know, somebody would refer to them as a dog man, and they'd be like, I don't know about that,
I think that
I hope I get there, but I'm not there yet. There's a whole lot of humility in that term
well,
that I think that
there's also some of if I hunt strictly cur dogs and somebody calls me a houndsman, that's like that doesn't fit. So with the South and hog hunters and the diversity of the things that you're hunting down there, you got deer dogs, you got running dogs, you got hounds, you got bulldogs, you got all this other stuff, and now all of a sudden, houndsman doesn't fit, so it's dog man. You know,
yeah,
that's
that could be where that comes from.
if you go to
I
the
mean,
west and you hunt anything but a hound, then you're kind of well, you are an anomaly. Daryl Stryker hunted Kimmer curs, um, and he was an anomaly in the west that he hunted cur dogs and was successful. He's a government hunter actually.
yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I don't know when, but in the last couple of weeks on here, we talked about it. But the term dog man, 100% comes from the dog fighting side of the South. Uh, they didn't use it exactly the way that we use it, but that is 100% its origin. They were a little more lenient in its usage, and then somewhere along the years, like dog hunters from the South picked up that terminology, but we added a lot of weight to it. Like I say, it was tossed around a little more freely, not totally free, but a little more freely in the dogfighting community. But we raised it to a different level.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Watson's weighing in. Chris, you helped us out on that thing, so I'm gonna put your comment up. He said that's not true. A cattleman can't just have cattle and be a rancher. Yeah, if I went out and bought 100 cattle, I might be able to convince or act like I'm a cattleman, but really I'd just be a dipshit with a bunch of cows.
Typically, a cattleman is a dude who he doesn't drive a truck; he drives the Cadillac. He's not building fence; he's paying people to build fence. But you know what I mean. It's a little more freely tossed around.
Right, right. I like this next one because I think this will spark some conversation. What would make you consider someone a houndsman? A good breeder, dog handler, a combination. Some of the best handlers in coon hunting world have never bred a dog, but are world renowned. Is it a job or a lifestyle? Well, being a professional handler doesn't necessarily make you a houndsman. I know plenty of people that have won over, a couple $100,000. I just had this conversation today. But I guess the way to answer that question is this. You show me a guy that like Mike Colley. I'll use Mike Colley. He's never won a dime in competition hunting. He can sew a dog up. He can set a leg. He can whelp pups. He knows. I mean, he just knows stuff about dogs. He's just the only reason he goes to a vet is when it's like he's even been to vets and they said, who sewed this dog up? Who did the surgery on this dog and sewed him up? And Mike's like, well, I did. He's like, well, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good job, you know. Um, so I mean that to me that's a houndsman or a dog man, somebody that knows all those sorts of things. They see a dog shaking his head and they don't just think, well, it's ear mites. They think that dog might have an ear infection, and so they treat a dog for an ear infection. They just know stuff about dogs.
To me, like I'll give my explanation of it, and it's probably not everybody's explanation, but it's mine. So I think of dog men as kind of like horse whisperers.
Yep.
I think it's something. I think to be a true dog man, it's something. It's a gift you have to be born with. Uh, Being born with it doesn't mean that it's automatic, but you have to be born with the guilt. The guilt. You have to be. You have to be born with the gift, and then nurtured enough to get to the point where you're a dog man. On the flip side, I think if you're not born with that gift, you can get enough knowledge so that you get damn close to being a dog man. But I don't think you can be a dog man if you're not born with that gift. That
You know
that
one
gift,
you know one of the things you got to have to be a real dog man or a real houndsman? Humility.
it's a big one.
I'm
It's a big.
telling you, man. I said I mentioned Van already, but um, Van Johnson. When you ask him, how his dogs are or whatever, I mean, he always takes the humble route. It's always like, "Are you catching any bears?" He's like, "Well, I'm trying awful hard."
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah,
like that. It's never like when you when you when you're trying to achieve something, sometimes we overplay it and we try to accelerate it and we're not just patient enough. And so we try to help along by, pretending to be stuff we're not. It's like, somebody said something about wearing a cowboy hat. I mean, I've got one and I'll wear it, but I'm all hat and no cows. I can tell you that. I'm not a cowboy.
yeah. I'm real hesitant to put a cowboy hat on
Me too.
because it's the same thing. I mean, I'm not a cowboy.
Uh-uh.
Uh, my family are all cowboys, come from cowboy culture, but me
You got
personally,
a saddle in the background. You're kind of like a cowboy.
well, I mean, I can ride one. Uh, but yeah, so something about putting a cowboy hat on. It's almost like you're tooting your own horn. It's kind of the same deal. Like,
But I don't look at that if I know that, like, if I've watched Josh Whitaker rope cows. I've watched him doctor cows. I've seen him all do it. If he's wearing a cowboy hat, him and Jason, you don't have to qualify that shit with me. That's good,
yeah,
because they live it.
yeah,
And I know other guys like that. Michael Ritchie, you know, I broke mules with Michael Ritchie. He spends more time on a horse between September and when the snow flies, all year round than most people do their entire life. You know, so if he wants to wear that hat, you wear it, brother. Try to. I'm not going to try to come in on your game.
no. I mean, I'd wear one if we was gonna go hunting all day on mules. Uh, Sometimes I'd wear one, but I still feel weird about it. You know what I mean? It's like you're throwing something on yourself. And to me, you can always tell that dude. Like, you go out to some bar or some live music show and you see the dude wearing the cowboy hat, and you're like, yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
that don't
I
fit.
I wore mine at the SCI show this past past winter at the Safari Club International show, and we took some video and stuff. And then I walk up to, somebody like Steve Biggerstaff and his kids and his sons, which are young men, and they're all standing where their cowboy hat. I want to take mine off and throw it behind their booth there. It's like, don't get us confused. We're not the same here. Those guys over there are like they live it every day. And I put in a ton of trail miles in on the backs of mules and horses, broke horses and had stuff, but I'm no cowboy. I've never roped anything. I've pinned cattle and pushed cows and stuff, but man, I'm not. They've tried to get me to rope when we're out in Colorado, and it's like, nope. I'm way that ship has sailed. I'm perfectly good not getting yanked out of a saddle and hitting the ground. I'm good.
You mentioned that saddle behind me. You can't really see
Has that
it.
got mule bars on it?
No, that's a H. Hester from about, I'd say it's late 1890s. Cool saddle, super comfortable. It's not for a mule, but it fits a mule real good because it's from that time period
Yeah,
when quarter horses were not as big as they are today.
yeah, yeah. Well, Roy's getting impatient. He thinks we're getting hung up on titles and clothes, which that's true. We could
Well,
get
I mean,
hung up on titles and clothes.
what clothes do dogmen wear?
Well, I think there's a. What do you
I,
mean? Do you need Carhartts? Man,
I
I
don't
thought I
know.
made it when I got my first pair of Carhartt bibs.
I don't know. Clue us in there, Roy. I'm not. I'm not down on the.
He's talking about hats. He's
Oh,
talking.
okay, okay. I thought there was maybe a dogman dress code I didn't know about.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like I'll tell you one thing that's crazy is this whole technical hunting clothing. And I own some Kuiu gear and I own some First Light gear just because the base layers are outstanding. The Kuiu, I've got their uh uh oh shoot, I don't even know what it's called. That's how big of a fan I am. It just works. It's well vented and it's good for cold weather. It's insulated pants. But I've found as many hacks at Costco for $12.99 as I've ever found. I'll tell you
I'm
one of
a,
the best. I'll tell you one of the best finds is those Wrangler outdoor wear pants that you can get at Walmart for $26.99. They'll do anything
them
that a
stretchy
Kuya.
things. Them
Heck
stretchy
yeah, man.
things. I
They're not
can't take
stretchy. No, they're not stretchy. I'm telling you, you can do anything in them. I've cut wood in them. I've worn them a hell of a lot harder than I've ever worn any First Light or brand name gear.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of like uncomfortable clothes and boots.
You sound like a Marine. That's because you were raised by a Marine. That's
Yeah,
why.
like boots are supposed to be uncomfortable. If your boots are comfortable, you're screwing
That's bull crap. No way.
up. I like hard denim and uncomfortable boots.
Well, I'll tell you what. One thing I like out there in that brush country are those Wrangler denim shirts and hard canvas shirts.
Oh yeah.
They'll turn the brush. I can endure a little bit of
Like
heartache.
I have a hard time finding clothes that can hold up. Uh, and Roy might give me shit here, but I'm a fan of some, not all, but some of Filson clothing.
Oh, you're that kind of guy.
Well, I am, but I am not from the fashion side of it because like I can I can wear a pair of tin cloth double knee Filson pants, and I don't need chaps, and I've got a pair that I've had for umpteen years, tough as boot leather, and yeah, a pair of pants. I mean that pair of pants. I mean I probably bought them 10 years ago, and they cost me over $200 10 years ago. But it seems like a lot of money, but it's not if I've been wearing them for 10 years hunting, and there's no holes in them, and they're still waterproof with some care, semi-waterproof with some care, and I'll say this just Filson used to be an amazing company. They're a shit company today. They still have some of their heritage lines that are still sewn and made in the Pacific Northwest that still hold up that level of quality that they came to be known for, but they've got a bunch of stuff that is overseas shit. So don't just buy it just because it has the Filson tag on it. But their tin cloth pants are worth the money. I think we lost Chris. Yeah, Michael's 100% right. You can flap them jaws all you want. Them dogs tell the truth. I'm not familiar with those saddles, Shorty, but a lot of saddles from that time period fit a mule. You don't necessarily have to have a mule tree if you're getting them from that time period. Back, like I say, back when quarter horses weren't quite so broad. don't really know what that means, Roy. Drake agrees with me. They're not cheap, but even with minimal care, they will last for decades.
What a technical error.
Yeah, we made it.
I knew you would. So yeah, Woolrich. I've still got a pair
Yeah,
of Woolrich Malone pants that are just tough as nails, man, and I
they
love
make
wearing them.
yeah, yeah. And then Woolrich jackets are badass too.
Yep, yep. I've still got a set of. So years ago, have you ever heard of King of the Mountain?
I don't think so.
King of the Mountain hunting clothes.
Mm-mm.
It's kind of a retro thing. It was a. I mean, it's expensive, but I had a buddy of mine that was a dealer years ago, and I got it for dirt cheap type prices. And I actually worked some overtime, an extra job overtime gig to get the money to pay for it, and I've had it for 25 years, and I guarantee you, it still looks brand new. It's heavy.
Another another good one that I don't think too many people know about, but it's Black Sheep, and they were made in Dallas, Texas, and they made all kinds of hunting clothing. Uh, you can get on eBay and sometimes find some of that stuff. The tough part about finding that old those old good hunting clothes is that people were so much smaller back then. So like I'm 6 foot. I could get on eBay right now and find a ton of black sheep hunting pants, but they'd be like 42 in the waist by 28s.
What's well, it's because they wore gaiters and different things, and the boot designs
Yeah,
were different.
yeah, they wore their pants higher and
Yeah,
tucked them in and stuff.
yeah. But a lot of that old wool stuff, you got to watch buying it because it hadn't been properly cared for. I'll tell you, since we're talking about wool, Asbel wool. Have you ever? I think I had it. I think I had it while we were in New Mexico. It's super simple. You could make one once you got your hands on one. Ed, I know you'd grab that sewing machine and sew yourself up one. But it's just pretty much a blanket shirt, hoodie, pullover type thing. But that thing is awesome. I love that piece of gear. That's one of my favorite go-to pieces of gear. Is
Is
my
it?
as well. Yeah, I bought a vest and I bought the hoodie. Bought the hoodie one year and then bought the vest the next year. It's awesome. I love it.
I forget what it's called, but I made myself a wool hoodie a few years back. There's a name for it. I can't remember what the style is. But it's so damn hot. Like we just don't get cold enough here in Oklahoma for me to wear it. Like even when it's in the 20s and teens out here, I can hardly wear it because I sweat myself to death in it.
Well, if you like it, like when I wear my wool, then I can wear like a midweight wool base layer and then put that on top. And if I'm standing around the truck, then it gets chilly. It gets a little chilly. But once I start walking, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about wool, like real wool, which is hard to find nowadays, but like real 100% wool, you can jump in a creek and be sopping wet. And I don't even understand it, but wool will keep you warm even when it's iced over or sopping wet.
It retains insulating value
Yeah,
all the time.
I don't know how it does that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
it's amazing.
that's the benefit of wool is
Yep,
that you can swim a creek and unlike cotton or
yep.
a bunch
I
of
got to
other
answer
wool.
this question real quick. Has Houndsman SB ever thought about going to the Wisconsin Bear Hunters Association convention? Been there, done that. I'm a member of the Wisconsin Bear Hunters Association, or I was. I need to renew. Um, but yeah, I've already been there.
Which is funny because just yesterday, Oklahoma Dog Hunter Association got two memberships from Wisconsin. We have people that do that all the time though, but I think it's the first time we ever came here from Wisconsin. But and I used to do that, and I've kind of slacked off. But I used to, when I would think about it, I would get online and find all the dog hunting associations, and it
Look
didn't
at
matter. Didn't matter if they was in Wisconsin or Arkansas or wherever. I would just go ahead and send them my $25, and it made me feel good about myself.
look at TL Jones busting my chops. He loves wool. Been back in Tennessee 17 years and haven't worn any kind of underbloomers. Well, it doesn't get cold enough down there for you to wear underbloomers.
Probably not in Tennessee.
No, I know where he lives. He lives right there in the mountains. It does get cold. They get they get some snow and stuff, but the whole thing is here's the problem. Most people, I'm not going to say most people, very few people have figured out, the combinations to wear for clothes. You hear a deer hunting podcast from someplace and you're like, I've had guys from the South show up here with cotton long johns and flannel shirts and a hoodie pulled over that, and then they put on a pair of Walls coveralls and they walk to their tree stand and they're sweat through and they can't sit for more than an hour. And I'm standing there in a pair of, I don't know what I'm wearing. I'm wearing wool base layer, a decent outer layer, and and you can sit out there for a while longer. You can stay in the field all day. But in the same way with hound hunting, just finding that combination. But some of these old, man, like wearing a cotton hoodie. I can't wear a cotton hoodie hunting anymore, especially down in Louisiana and places like that. Once I get that sucker wet, I mean, it's
Oh,
just hanging on me. It's bagging. It's uncomfortable. The sleeves are getting big.
no, it weighs 3 times as much, and it's getting you colder. If you took it off, you'd be
Exactly.
warmer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And before I
Uh,
get sidetracked, TL, I'm gonna have your stuff done probably tomorrow, so I'll be getting in touch with you.
he had
I
to take
mentioned
a
I
he had to take a day off.
no, I didn't take a day off,
Yeah, you
but
did. You went and watched your daughter graduate from basic training.
oh yeah, that was on
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
But yeah, TL sent me a message this morning, and I
It's
got
gonna be good.
busy,
Don't
and I just
reveal it for him.
no, I just remembered that I forgot to respond to his message, so I want to tell him now
Yeah.
because I'll forget.
Yep. Let's see what he's always got a follow up here. Hey, when I was 10, I was wearing my dad's old boots. So just be thankful that you got those Texas steers from Kmart. Your dad was thinking about you.
Man, I remember when I was like about 10, and I'll never forget it. Like my parents would take me to Kmart before school to buy jeans, and I was like, God, I don't want these Kmart jeans. I want Levi's.
Yeah. The whole thing of it boils down to this, though. I can tell you 100%. I've got better equipment now than I've ever had in my entire life, more gadgets and all this other crap. And I hunted harder in hand me downs
Oh yeah,
and homemade dog leashes than I do now. What?
yeah.
I mean,
It, the equipment doesn't make you.
no.
I still make my own dog leads.
I like seeing those guys, that those young guys that they don't care. They're wearing a cotton hoodie. They're not there to be comfortable. They're there to hunt. Let's
Well,
roll.
man, it's easy to get wrapped up, uh, and that's one of my big pet peeves. Yes, I remember hunting when I was super poor and couldn't afford shit, and it's easy to get wrapped up in this like commercialism of dog hunting, like on the hog hunting side of it. Oh, you got to have this brand of cut gear and you know the latest and greatest electronics and all this shit, and it's easy to get wrapped up into that. And I would tell people if that strikes a chord and you think you might be, like sit down and think about it. Like, what is a dog lead? A dog lead is just something to maintain that dog with till you turn it loose. To this day, I'll just take a piece of rope, you know, a 8 foot piece of rope, run it underneath the collar or through a loop, and double it over.
Yeah.
To me, that works better than a dog lead. So when I've got to turn this dog loose, I don't have to reach down and fiddle with the snap. All I got to do is drop one end of that rope, and the dog runs to the end of it, and he's gone. So I think it's easy to get wrapped up in this like advertising,
It's like
marketing,
anything else.
thing. And I think if you do find yourself wrapped up in that, if you're aware of it and you start thinking about it, you might realize that you're kind of missing the real point of it. You know what I mean? Some of the best dogs I have ever seen in my life didn't come out of $1,000 dog box or a $2,000 dog box. They came out of a plywood dog box, or you rarely see it anymore. But you know what people used to do? They take an old air conditioner condensing unit.
Yeah.
The cage off an air
Mm-hmm.
condensing unit, and they cut a door in it. It's
Yeah.
already got all the ventilation slots in it. But some of the best dogs I've ever seen in my life to this day came out of piece of shit and free dog boxes.
You know
You know,
some of the most amazing dogs I've ever seen? I got to tell this story, man. It was hilarious. We were at the National Current Vice Breeder Association. It was either the spring roundup or the World Hunt. I can't remember. But this dude came beating in there in a Mazda GL2 hatchback and slept in his car all weekend. And he was pretty grimy and gritty looking. And that thing had 4 different dogs in it, and he was just there to hunt one because you could only hunt one on the hunt. He left the other 3 tied under the trees over here, slept in his car, um, wore the same clothes all weekend, and ended up
wrong.
winning it all with the dog that he brought, the
Yeah.
one that he hunted. And I just looked at that guy, and I always remember that guy. He had dark hair, had he's probably in his 20s, so he had maybe 30, rough beard, but he was living it every day. That's what he did. And a
Yeah.
Mazda GL2 or GLC or something. I don't remember.
It's like if I
And
go to
we're worried about diamond plate dog box and having a nice truck to get you down the road.
yeah, when I go to a rodeo, I'm always rooting for that 19-year-old bull rider who shows up in a Mazda, doesn't have the fancy chaps, you know, just like ragtag. The
Yeah,
equipment does the equipment does not make you. The equipment can make it nicer on you, but it does not make you.
yeah. Roy Farabee had a good point here. The new stuff makes it easier and a little more enjoyable. You can abuse anything or overuse. Mindset is the issue, not the gadgets and new leads, etc. 100%. 100%.
What is it? I see.
Huh?
I see Tanner. I can't read it. I'm gonna pop it
Tanner's
up.
on here?
Yeah, I
Oh,
haven't read it. I'm
I
sure he's
got it.
giving me.
I'll
I'm
put
sure
it
he's
up
giving
here.
me shit.
He probably is.
Yeah. What are you? I mean, what are you talking about? That don't even make no sense.
That's Ed's hunting partner right there. In here giving him blowing the smoke.
Blowing the smoke, because the problem isn't that I'm by the wood stove.
It's that the stew's on the wood stove that's been there for a week and you might need to put water in it.
No, the problem ain't at my house. The problem's at Tanner's house.
Yep.
He's got a woman beating him over the head.
Oh. Well, I mean, getting back to the dog man houndsman debate, I think those two terms are interchangeable in my mind because I've been around guys like you that and I understand the value of describing somebody as a dog man, and I also know the context of a houndsman. Um, I think that the houndsman thing gets thrown around a little bit more because of the probably just population and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. I don't think it has as much weight. Like if somebody calls you a dog man, like that is about the biggest compliment you can give to somebody.
Well, you're never going to hear anybody. You're never going to hear the greatest dog man that you ever met from Montana called a dog man because nobody up there uses that term.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, it typically, I mean, for the most part, it is like a southern term.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. You guys got now. TL Jones and Roy Farabee are having a side chat over here in the comments.
No, don't make it side. Get it out front. Are they fighting?
No, nah, nah.
I can't read the comments over there. They're too small.
I missed something. I know one. I know one I wanted to come back to. It was Chuck Reynolds sitting over here. He's trying to one up everybody and talking about he hunted in tennis shoes when he was a kid. We all did. We all hunted in tennis shoes until you wore the soles out on the bottom of the kids and they got a hole in them, and it's
Hunting in
coming into winter, and then you had to pony up to the big boot.
Yeah, hunting in tennis shoes is better than hunting in cowboy boots.
Oh yeah, no, I get you, Chuck. I know you walked uphill both ways and live in the mountains. No, no place rougher to hunt.
Res Hounds is asking what the topic is. The topic was dogmen, but we kind of got sidetracked. The meaning.
There's a guy right there that I haven't heard from in a long time. What is going on, Calvin? We need to get you on it. We need to get you on live sometime.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So Calvin's out there hunting those. He's the one that treed the bear and the lion and got it on video in the same tree. You remember that video?
Mm-mm.
He treed a black bear and a mountain lion in the same tree.
In the same tree?
In the same tree. And got video to prove it.
He's in Arizona, isn't he?
Yep. Northeast. Yeah, he's on the Navajo Nation there.
Yeah. I've watched a bunch of his videos. Super cool.
Yep. Yep. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you're still on this side of the dirt, Calvin. I was starting to worry about you.
Well, he's a fairly young man, isn't he?
Yeah. Yep. What else we got going on here? Oh, here's trying to keep this one going. Would a dog man be a gifted person who utilizes that gift by doing the things a dog man does? Would a houndsman be a guy who isn't gifted but works hard to gain knowledge and be as close to a dog man as possible?
That's not a bad. I'm.
Don't be feeding Ed's ego.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Drake's from the South, and I would have to say that kind of falls in line with me. But like I said earlier, like even a dude in the South, like you have to have that gift. To me, that's my, from all the stuff I've taken in, that's my personal take on it. Is it doesn't matter if you don't have that gift, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Like you're not going to totally make it to dogman status.
Well, here you go.
But that was pretty good, Drake.
There you go. Ed's been wanting to use this graphic since he created it.
You used it last week for Michael, I think.
Oh, did we?
You did, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You got it. You got it too, man.
But that's the thing. Like I say, like even if you don't think you have that gift, if you work hard enough, you can get damn close to it. But to me, like that dog man is just a dude who can.
I want to bring it back up and look at it.
So I got a cousin, and it kind of plays in. So I got a cousin who's a horse trainer, and this guy can just get more out of a horse than anybody can get out of it. Like he can take a nag and take it to the horse track and place. And he just, to me, he just has that gift. Like when you see him walk up to a horse, I mean, it's hard to explain. The horse just understands him, like through his eyes, through his body movements. They have this level of communication that is obviously just a gift, and I think that some people have that with the dog as well. So like you can give a true dog man, a piece of shit dog, and he can make it, you know, look like a great dog.
I
Not
think he can
really.
make it look like a good dog. I don't think he can make.
No, I've seen some dudes who could make him look like a great dog. Then you could throw it in another dude's hand and it would look like
Well,
a
then
great dog.
why was it a subpar dog when it got to their hands? That's what I'm wondering. Because the dog man didn't have it,
Yeah.
so he's a fixer. There's a lot of fixers out there. Um,
Yeah, but
he's somebody.
I think you have to have a special gift to get that potential out of a dog that nobody else can get out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
I really do believe it's a gift because I've seen dudes who could literally. I mean, it was like, it's like, are you talking to this dog? Like, are you speaking English to this dog through your eyes?
all right. So we've got humility. Another trait that I've seen in some of these great dog men, and I'm not giving up on Houndsman yet, Michael. Sorry about your luck, buddy. Or no, who was it?
It was
Drake.
Drake.
Drake. I'm not giving up on Houndsman, Drake.
It's
They've got
just a word.
they've got
Just a word.
humility. That was a good one, by the way, Drake. But the other thing they do is everything they do just looks effortless. They make it look effortless. It's not. They keep the big thing. They keep the little things little, and most of the big things they keep pretty little. It's not a big drama show screaming and yelling and beating on the around the dog box and sticking cattle prods through the vent holes and all this other garbage and just causing chaos. It's usually just like they go about their business. They're very direct. They're very matter of fact, and they just take care of it. And you really don't ever even know that they took care of anything.
Well, we were talking earlier about uh, cattlemen and horsemen, and I'd say the one big one we left out was chicken fighters. So a lot of the great dogmen that I've known, and I've been blessed to know more than I should know, they weren't just really good at dogs. They were horse trainers, chicken fighters. They just had this uh, ability with animals in general, not just
Mm-hmm.
dogs, but animals in general. And you alluded to it in what you posted earlier, but they also have this mindset. Like if they decided they were going to write a book, they would be great at it. If they decided they was going to start a business, they would be great. Like anything that person chose to do and committed themselves to, they would be great at it. So I think a big part of it is this mentality, this like winner's mentality, where yeah, they may have picked dogs as like their passion, but it's not just limited to dogs. Like anything they wanted to, anything in the world they wanted to do, they would be great at because they have an ability to focus in on something and and give it their all, and it become the whole of their life and their life's work.
Right. Oh, I want to put this. Drake's firing back here. Yeah, you are. You're just agreeing with Ed, Drake. But I haven't got through all your comments, so you might be legit. But I've personally experienced this. I've seen guys try to make good dogs and it never work for them. But I've seen a guy turn around and get some junk and make them something special.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to me,
I
Drake,
agree with that.
that is a dog man.
Yeah.
But he can take someone else's shit, you know, and make it look good.
And here you go. Roy's not a dog man.
Yeah, Roy, I would
I'm just
wholeheartedly
giving you a hard time, Roy.
I would wholeheartedly disagree with that because I've seen some dudes who could take dogs that were total shit and make them look pretty damn good.
The thing is, it's like life's too short to hunt ugly dogs and mess with somebody else's calls. It's like, let's go get another. I'll just soon raise my own. And I used to do a lot of fixing on dogs and stuff like that. Bring them here and hunt them for a while and flip them. And but anymore, uh, they I was just picking up comments here,
You
but
left
anymore, it's like I'm just going to start with something good, and then I have to don't have to undo the other stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I would just abridge that by saying that you left out a really important part of that.
What's
That
that?
life's too short for shitty dogs and ugly women.
Well, I don't have to worry about either one.
That's good. You're lucky.
Yep, yep,
It's
yep,
a lot of us have to deal with ugly women.
yeah. I had a thought and I got kind of sidetracked, and I don't remember what it was now. So I might have had some crappy dogs in the past that I don't remember having. This goes
It's
with the
best
age.
it's best to forget them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Roy. I'm gonna disagree. Like I say,
Oh, I just hit your comment again. Sorry, buddy. Um, I like this one. Life is too long for junk dogs.
too long. That's
I know what he's saying because
yeah,
only
but
because I know TL so well.
yeah, but
He's like,
TL
"You-
ain't young. Usually by about 35 you pass up that life is too long preface.
well, what he's saying is how many hunts do you have to take with junk dogs before you realize you got junk dogs? Why are you going to do that every year?
Yeah, but if my life was 200 years, it wouldn't matter as much.
uh,
Let's see what Drake's coming at you with.
I don't know why it's not staying up. Certain dogs mishandled is very well a common occurrence. 100%, Drake. You can't tell me. I mean, anytime I see somebody posting on Facebook that 8 out of 10 of these dogs these days are calls, that's a guy that doesn't know how to handle dogs, in my mind. There's
I
no
think
way we get this far down the road in genetics and breeding and everything else. If we're still hitting an 80% failure rate, we're not doing something right.
no. I think the biggest thing you got to do is just try to not mess a dog up.
I like
Uh,
what Clue like what I'm telling you, he put it in words. Clue Anderson put it into words. Do what the dog, he wants to hunt those dogs that can't help themselves to do what they do. Remember that? Remember that saying that he had?
yeah, I mean, if a dog is bred right, that's all you should have to do is stay out of its way.
Yeah.
I think we screw up more dogs than we help. It's just like it's like in childbirth, not just humans, but
You've got
cows,
experience.
dogs, anything like that. Like let nature take its course. Like get your hands out of there, and everything's probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think the same is true for like hunting dogs. Like if a dog is bred right, all you've got to do is try not to screw it up,
But I
which
like that I like
isn't
that
as easy as
statement.
it sounds.
I like that statement the way he said it. He goes, I want to help themselves. I want to hunt the ones that can't help themselves. It's so hardwired into them. They can't help but to do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about, uh, Clue comes in heavy on the breeding side, the nature side. That's where you want to be, That's the easiest place to be. I've made a living on the other side of it, probably as a mistake. I've had a thing like most of my dog hunting career, and like I say, it's a mistake, and it's probably ego, but like I've always liked taking that dog that shouldn't make it and trying to turn it into something, you know.
Why do you think I hunt plots and blue ticks in a world that's dominated by walker dogs?
Yeah.
There is nothing better than showing up at a PKC hunt, and I've done it with mountain curs, and there's no better feeling. There, we hunted autumn oaks, a 50th annual autumn oaks, and I've told this story before. The guide wanted to get everybody down to just a couple trucks, and I happened to be driving a GMC crew cab truck. It was a 99. It got totaled bear hunting in West Virginia. I'd still have that truck if Butch hadn't ran over me. But anyway, I was driving that truck and I was hunting my boondog, and this guy from, here you go, TL Jones, Tennessee. He gets in our truck and he goes, what you fellas hunting? Gary Miller was riding with me. He's a plot man. And I said, I got a plot. And he's like, well, guys can hunt what they want to, but I told these boys when they're getting ready to start competition hunting, if they want to win, they got to get them some walker dogs. And he sat in my back seat in my truck and talked like that all night. And we came out at the end of the hunt, and he says, I heard it in there. He was staying at the truck. He goes, I heard it in there. Do you get them, boys? And one of his boys looked at him. He goes, nope. He goes, well, who won it? And I was hunting with 3 walker dogs. And he goes, the plot dog. And I just patted that old guy on the. I said, well, if you really want to win, you need to get you a plot dog. And he just laughed. He thought that was the funniest thing he had ever heard.
It's probably a genuine laugh too.
Huh?
It was a genuine laugh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we were all having fun.
Hey,
We were all having fun.
you mentioned trucks, and it's totally off topic. But if there's anybody here who's up around Branson, Missouri, drop me a line because I got a truck up there. I'd like you to go. I'd like somebody to go look at and see if it's worth my time to drive up that way.
Was it like a 1937 Dodge or something? Something you can work on yourself?
I found a 47 Willys up by Branson that it's about 5.5 hours, but I may take a trip up there this weekend. But I hate to drive all the way up there and then it'd be a total dud. So if there's anybody around Branson,
what is that? What did you say it was?
It's a 47 Willys.
Oh,
Jeep.
Is it a Jeep or is it a Jeep truck?
Jeep truck.
Straight axle.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
Totally original. Still has a Flathead 6 Hurricane in it. So
wow.
Somebody drop me a line if you're up that direction. I still may go up there this weekend, but I hate to drive up truck.
What else are you going to be doing? You drive up there. It's going to be too hot to hunt in Oklahoma anyway.
Yeah. I may.
Yeah.
I need to.
If I lived closer, we'd run up there together.
I've been wanting one of them trucks for forever. My dad had one when I was like 7. He bought it for I think he said $600, and he drove it home. He said nobody wanted them back then. Now they're a lot more than $600.
Yeah. If you could have any hunting rig you wanted, any brand hunting truck that you wanted, what would you have?
A 40s Willys pickup.
A Willys pickup.
They're indestructible.
Did they build them for the military?
I don't really know. I mean, they had a
Why
conch.
would you pick, besides being indestructible? Are they easy? You can work on them, right?
Man, I can work on that thing. It's a kindergartner can
Simple.
work. Simple. Kindergartner can work on it. May
Yeah,
not. They're not all that easy to find parts for nowadays, but shit, you can rebuild it in your garage.
yeah. Hey, weigh in on that, folks. Red Sound's already weighing in. He says he wants a Jeep Comanche.
That's just a new. I mean, the Comanche is just Jeep's newer version. To me, it's not as good because to me, everything older is better. But yeah, Comanches are cool. Comanches don't get the gas mileage that those old flathead sixes get.
You can't be. That's what would that be one of your deciding factor? What kind of gas mileage you get?
Oh, I mean, it's part of it. I mean, it's not all of it, but yeah, it's a part of it. Just them old motors, you know. Yeah, that truck don't have AC. This one has heat. Some of them didn't have heat. This one's got heat. No power steering, no power brakes. Of course, no air conditioning, no heated seats, but they're
Why would
badass.
you want something without power steering and power brakes?
I've had trucks that didn't have it before. I mean, it's just it's like it goes back to the whole hunting clothing thing you're talking about. It's just convenience, you know. Yeah, that stuff's convenient, but you don't really need it. It's nice to know what you don't need.
Why not just go back to hunting out of an ox cart?
Well, it's not real practical today. I don't
Well,
want to get.
neither's a 47 Willys truck.
I don't want to
It's
get.
not like you and Tanner are going to load up in the 47 Willys and drive it to New Mexico to bear hunt with me.
I might.
You might. That would not surprise me to see you show up in that thing.
It might instead of 15 hours, it might take me 24 hours, but I ain't in a hurry.
Yeah. If
I
I
just
was
like all that old shit, you know.
if I was going to have anything I could have, I would get one of those Toyota Land Cruiser trucks
Man,
that
they're
that
cool.
that you can buy everywhere in the world except here.
Yeah, they're super cool and they're tough as hell. Like when I lived overseas, we had them. Super tough. Dudes would take them out in Africa, driving across the continent, you know. But here they're expensive to work on. Like getting those parts is tough, and the truck itself. I mean, I've looked at them, you know, and you can find one for like 25 to 30 grand,
Yeah. Yeah.
and dude, it ain't in super good condition, you know.
I get it.
But they are tough.
Yeah, it just seems like that I still see new model of those old Land Cruiser trucks that are going to Africa and the Middle East and different places that still look like trucks. I mean, they're still the dashboards are simple. There's not a lot of
Yeah,
frills.
no power. Yeah,
I'm tired of these fancy trucks that were built for the guy that works in the office, has to drive through the snow covered suburbs to get to the office in his 4-wheel drive Denali, and that's what's driving the price up on all these vehicles, is because it's a status thing more than a necessity thing. We never had 4-wheel drives growing up.
man, trucks have just turned into Cadillacs. You know, they're built for
100%.
comfort. They're built for comfort, but they're not built for what people like us want a truck for. It's hard today to go. It's not hard. It's damn near impossible. It's impossible. It's not damn near impossible. It's impossible to go to the Ford dealer or the Dodge dealer and buy a truck that's actually a truck. So
Yeah.
if you go back to the 60s and even the 70s, you could buy a car, let's say for in the 60s, $8,000. The truck could be five because it was a truck. It was meant to be worked. It didn't have all these frills. Now today, a truck costs me more than a car cost me. It doesn't make any damn sense, and they're not even really a truck. You know,
Right.
they're just a jacked up Cadillac.
Yeah.
They got no balls.
Yeah. 100%. All right, we gotta get some comments here. Let's see what Anthony Anderson, an old 4-wheel drive Toyota to beat the crap out of.
I got one,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I beat the crap out of it.
I've got a 2002 Tacoma, and I've got my Tundra.
I got a '99 Toyota that I literally just beat the shit out of.
I'm not into beating them. I'm into using them, but I'm not into beating them.
I'm pretty tough on one.
Cody Ridge was pretty tough. I mean that was, remember that, or we shouldn't have my Tundra last year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cody
Yeah,
Road.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And then of course we got comments coming in from the cheap seats here.
That's a pretty good comment, I think.
Yeah, yep. You won't get any arguments out of me. I don't have one anymore. But
Do
I'll
you have
tell you
any?
what. Let me get back to. I've got to do a little better job of responding to that.
You
Let me
getting
tell you
back on
something.
the Subaru
Yeah,
kick?
I gotta go back to the Subaru thing.
They're from Indiana, we know.
I am not. I'm tired of the liberals trying to tell me what I can and can't do. If you want to let liberals tell you what you can do and what you can't do, and make you scared and hide and all this stuff because you think, oh, that's a liberal car.
Chris has got a chip on his shoulder about that Subaru.
I don't have a Subaru, but I wouldn't be ashamed to drive one. I have one, and it was a darn good car. Yep. So yeah, just keep pretending like you're a free man, Josh, and stay away from those Subarus.
They're not bad cars.
No,
It's just that Subaru as a marketing
I'll get right. You go ahead, and then
strategy,
I'm gonna jump on it.
Subaru decided they were going to jump in on animal rights and all this
Absolutely.
left wing shit. But all I got to give you credit. Subarus are not bad. I've never owned one, but they're not bad cars.
So we were looking for a new car, and my wife loved driving that Subaru Forester. And I said, well, we'll go look at them. And we went into the dealership and we sat down and we talked to them. I said, hey, you guys still doing that donation deal where you're giving money to the SPCA? And he's like, oh, absolutely. And, he's all proud of that. And I said, well, what if I don't want to give money? So what if I turn that down? He goes, we can you can choose any charity you want. And I said, I want to donate my money to the NRA. And he goes, well, that's not an approved charity. And I said, that's why I'm not buying a Subaru. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah, those are
have them take it,
good
have
choices
them,
right there.
have them take it off the sticker price and just not donate it to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Donate it to the Ed's Kids Foundation.
Right. Yeah,
Those
toilet.
those helixes are badass. And you know what's crazy is it's been going on for a couple years, I think. Toyota's making a pickup. It's not for sale in the United States. It's in Mexico. It's in the third world. It's a badass truck. Like it doesn't have ABS, doesn't have it's roll down windows, it's manual seats, it's all that. You can buy a brand new Toyota diesel pickup, small pickup. You can get it configured with a flatbed, a stake bed, a van bed, and it's like $10,000. And they will not let them into the United States.
Nope.
And
I've always said if Toyota was allowed to start putting their heavy duty trucks in the country, then the big three would go out of business.
oh yeah, but like overseas, you can get. They're still making, like the Tacoma. I'm not sure exactly what year. Mid 2000s, 2006, 8, something like that. They started getting bigger, and that old Tacoma small body style is like, to me, that's like the dog hunter's truck. I mean, if I go out to a public hunting ground, 80% of the trucks I see are going to be those smaller body style Toyotas. They started going bigger to
Well,
try
the
to
new
compete.
Tacoma, the 20, what is it, 24 or 20, whenever they changed the fourth gen last year, this year, it's almost as big as my Tundra.
Oh yeah, it's as big as a F-150.
Mm-hmm.
And like a
It's like, what
number
are
of
you
years,
doing? Why are you doing this?
they missed the market. Like I told,
100%.
so I had a 91 forever. And when I finally blew that thing up, I started looking for a new one. And the new ones were too big and the used ones were too expensive. And I found myself at a Toyota dealer and I was talking to the salesman. I was like, dude, if Toyota would go back to that small body and do like a hunter's edition with like vinyl flooring, vinyl seats or leather seats, and put like a camo trim package on it, they wouldn't be able to keep them on the lot. Like they would just pour out of there. Like I would buy one brand new. I'm not about new trucks, but if they were sitting there, I'd buy them brand new.
I'd take the hit. I'd sell my side by side and just buy the Toyota truck.
It'd probably be
100%.
cheaper. It'd
Absolutely, it would be.
probably be cheaper.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Toyota doesn't get it. If Toyota would like embrace the hunter side of it, which I don't, you
Or
can't
just
talk.
the common, desert running dude that,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't get through to these corporations, but if they had somebody in their marketing department that understood, well, I mean, when you got 15-year-old Tacomas selling for almost what they sold for brand new, you know,
yeah,
how has somebody at Toyota not realized that if they throw some hunter friendly accessories on this thing, that they couldn't get an extra 10 grand out of it,
yeah,
a ranch guard bumper,
yeah,
a factory winch,
for sure.
I'd pay 50 grand, but they won't make one.
No, no. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Toyota seems to be coming in pretty heavy. Early '90s Toyota pickup truck,
Oh
and
man,
I know.
they're
Go
tough
ahead.
as they're tough as a bag of hammers.
Oh yeah, and Calvin's coming back, and I've seen the Ranger, and I've seen where he drives it. Calvin's like a commercial that Ford needs to make for that Ford Ranger. I mean, that thing he drives it, and he'll fix it, and he'll drive it some more.
Rangers aren't bad, but they can't hold a candle to Toyota.
Yep. And then Josh, wait, that Kia Sorento is a piece of work, buddy. Yep.
Just throw you some chicken wire uh, over the trunk. Open the trunk, throw some chicken wire around it, throw them dogs in there. You good? 1930 style.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'll tell you what. What else we need to cover here, Ed? You started to hit on that topic about dog men, houndsmen. They are overachievers. They would be good, and I've known several that were like that.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's just that
whatever they touched, they were good at.
yeah, it's that mentality of the winner is basically what I think it is. But like I
Cody
said,
Cody Lostro. If we did that podcast with him about mindsets and stuff like that, and he's a world champion bull rider, and he's coaching another PBR team now in their new team series. I was telling him the other day, I said, you might win you another world championship. He's like, yep, that's my goal. But his whole mindset is that he just excels. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it right. But some of
yeah,
people are just gifted to be good at a lot of different things.
yeah,
Is
and
it a
like I said,
mindset thing? I mean, it's not like a Midas touch. I don't
I
believe
think
in that.
I think it's a personality trait that
Yeah.
whatever they do, they're gonna do all the way. But like I said, I mean, you know, with dogs, I think you have to have the gift first. You have to have the gift first, then put in the work second. And you can
Yep.
put in, and like I say, you can put in the work without the gift and get really damn close. But I don't think you get all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think guys like that when they set their mind to it, it's a personality trait. And they're not going to give up until they've got it mastered. But some people work hard at stuff they're hard their whole lives and never, they just never achieve anything. So
But I mean, I'll take that. If I'm gonna bet on somebody, you know, like a boxing match, like I'm gonna bet on the dude who doesn't have as much talent but has more heart, and I'm gonna bet on the dog that has more talent but not as much, God-given instinct. I think want to is a huge part of everything in life.
yeah, yeah. Joe Harvey says he converted a geo tracker into a hunting rig with super swampers, and it isn't any bigger than most side by sides today. You got that right, man.
Well, man, Joe, like I'm looking, I've been wanting a Willys pickup my whole life, and yeah, there's just not that many out there that are salvageable. I had a Suzuki Samurai when I was like 20, and they're about the damn closest. The Geo Tracker is just Ford's version,
Chevy.
Chevy,
Yep.
Chevy. You're right, Chevy,
GM.
not Ford. Chevy's version of the Samurai. They just went a little bit wider, a whole lot uglier, but
Have you ever met
it's
Joe?
mm-mm.
Yeah, I know Joe.
it's pretty much
He's not into pretty.
it's pretty much the same truck. It's just I think that man, they're so damn ugly.
Michael Smith threw this comment up. I'm not sure what you want to know about him, Michael, but if he was in the hands of a dog man, he'd be a legend.
He's a pretty good dog.
That's all I can say because he yeah, he's a nice dog. He's laid up right now. I told the story a few weeks ago about where I did my. Every time you start thinking you got things figured out, you get humbled real quick, and I about killed him a few weeks ago, and he's recuperating. He'll be bear hunting Friday out in New Mexico. So
Yeah, he's a good dog, and you should be super proud of him.
yep, he's just not had the. He needs to be with some. He needed to be with somebody that was going to hunt him every day, and just like TL said a few minutes ago, underhunted and overhandled, and that's him.
Yeah, he's still
Yep,
good though.
he'll be rock hard and ready to roll because he's been living it. So all
Shorty
those
hunt.
dogs out there, well, Shorty's got him right now. He'll be using him on the Paloma. Well, with what's going on at home, I knew I wasn't going to be able to be there, and I'm
Yeah,
going to be grounded for 6 to 8 weeks with taking care of my wife. So I didn't want them sitting all this year. Yep. He's the Cajun dog came from Mike Colley. He's out of Mike's breeding. He goes back to a dog named Hillbilly as well. He's got some of Jones Houston Valley plot blood in him, and he's just a good solid dog. Gamey. He's a good trailing dog. He's got a lot of heart. He's usually the he's always the first one in and usually the last one out. Um, I don't know. Um, so I'm not sure what else you want to know about him, Michael. I like him. He'll die here. What else we got, guys? Let's see if I can. TL, you need to try New Mexico out. It's quite a. A head fell out of his chair. No, TL, you ought to try that New Mexico. It's a lot different country than up in Idaho. It's not nearly as steep most places. It can be pretty rugged in a lot of places, but yeah, it's one of my favorite places to hunt. That's for sure. Roy says Idaho is better, and I think every place has got its advantages and disadvantages. I love Idaho. There's no doubt about it. Those mountains up around Gibbonsville and stuff are spectacular. I think that's about the only place. Yeah, that is the only place I've ever hunted in Idaho. Hunted up the Bitterroot, but anyway, I don't know if we made Ed mad or what he's doing, but just kind of threw his headset down and took off. Guys, I'm going to wait for Ed to come back here, and if he doesn't have anything else, we're going to wrap this one up unless you guys got a question or want to throw something up. You got anything else, Ed?
No, it's pretty much just had a leg cramp.
Yeah.
Didn't drink enough water.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this one up. I got an early day tomorrow, so.
Yeah, you got a big week coming up.
Yeah, I hate hanging on just to hang on to just be bumping our gums. We pretty much ran through it.
Will you be
Thanks,
here
everybody.
Will you be here next Tuesday or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
I will be. I probably won't have anything. Why don't you go ahead and think of somebody that might be able to back you up,
Okay.
and then I'll just join in if I can. Hope we
Okay.
do it like that.
If anybody out there wants to, Chris has got some family stuff going on next week, so if somebody has a good internet connection and wants to sit here and host this with me next week, drop me a line and we'll try to set it up. And if Chris can make it, he'll make it.
Yep. Sounds like a good idea. All right. Till next week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next
Yeah.
week, hopefully.
Thanks for the comments.